My name is Catherine Backer, and my research project is based on therapy dogs on college campuses. My research question that I would like to cover throughout my presentation is the reasoning behind therapy dogs on college campuses and the impacts they have. Being new to a college campus, I never realized how prevalent therapy dogs were. Dogs have always been something I've been extremely passionate about, so coming to a college where I see several throughout my day is something I find very fascinating and very unique. The popularity of these dogs began to interest me, and I wanted to learn more about their impacts they have on college campuses and the initial purpose of them. I was particularly interested in these dogs found around college campuses. I took interest in my own school, the University of Kentucky, and found research on the policy that my specific school has. The Policy and Regulations Guide helped me better understand what had to take place in order for these therapy dogs to be allowed. Going into this research project, I had never taken the time to look up the exact definition of a therapy dog. I didn't even know their exact purpose in general. Throughout my research, I came to find that they are trained dogs that go with their owner to volunteer in settings such as schools, hospitals, and nursing homes. I found this interesting in my research because I did not understand the initial purpose of therapy dogs, and that there was a difference between the types of service dogs you come in contact with. Oftentimes, therapy dogs get confused with different types of service dogs. It intrigued me to go into depth learning about the difference. Service dogs are significantly trained to perform particular tasks to help with a disability. These dogs help with the independence and overall safety of the person. The responsibility of a therapy dog goes beyond providing psychological therapy to just the owner, but the people that they interact with. Unlike service dogs, therapy dogs are allowed to interact and play with people around them. This is something I did not know before. During my research process, I hoped to find factual information that could be beneficial to college students, so I wasn't just giving generalizations. I wanted my research to go beyond just the facts. It was important that I didn't just give information, but I helped relate it to my audience in the way that we all attend the University of Kentucky, and we can all come in contact with these dogs on a daily basis. I learned that in order to go through the training of a therapy dog, the dog must be a minimum of 1 year old, it must have proper health requirements, the handler must be of good character, and the evaluation begins as soon as the evaluator is able to observe you and your dog, not just when you are going through the test requirements as a dog handler. The acceleration for college students' mental health is what is shifting the popular need in therapy dogs, and it is intended to benefit emotionally and physically. The students that benefit from the presence of a therapy dog believe that it helps with loneliness and depression, but it also causes them to be more active and responsive. A college counselor states, "College students today face many challenges as they make a transition from the home environment to campus life. A therapy dog program called Therapy Dogs United states the following. Medical studies and clinical research show that a therapy dog can not only have medical benefits, such as stress relief or lower blood pressure, but provide a sense of comfort, confidence, and companionship. Studies show that the simplest act of even petting a dog reduces your blood pressure. Levels of stress, hormones, and an increase in oxytocin are related with pet therapy. When you are reducing feelings such as anxiety and depression, it plays a positive role with your own physical health. School counselors across the United States are finding that the company of a therapy dog decreases anxiety and encourages students to work through issues they may be facing, such as anger management, bullying, and other psychological social problems they encounter. Research has exhibited that therapy dogs in a school or campus setting make a noticeable change in terms of gaining skills such as reading enhancement and contributing to relational and emotional growth. Throughout my research, it was difficult to come around to problems that can occur with therapy dogs due to all of their positive feedback. I couldn't wrap my head around what could be problematic with therapy dogs, while their initial purpose is to provide emotional therapeutic value. I later found that because the demand in these animals is at a peak, oftentimes pet owners are buying the therapy or service dog vests and putting them on their dogs. Certified therapy dogs are evaluated and registered through agencies to provide everyday help, not just to have your dog go with you everywhere you go. Fake therapy dogs put real therapy dogs at risk, and they have an impact on everyone around you. If your fake therapy dog wants to have one minor casualty, it creates negative conversation and views on therapy dogs as a whole. Although I learned a great amount on the little I knew before on the topic of therapy dogs, I'd want to expand my knowledge on not just therapy dogs, but different kinds of service dogs as well. Reading about therapy dogs, I often came across similar articles involving different kinds of service dogs and the help they provide people with disabilities. My advice for anyone looking to research my topic, it would be insightful to compare and contrast the two to educate others and make everyone more aware on their impact.
Bustle of students heading to class at the University of Kentucky, you will often see students of a different breed.
He loves walking to class with me. He loves meeting all the people. He loves people.
The 7-month-old Capiludo, sporting a tie like his namesake and his brother Rupp, are just a couple of about the 30 Four Paws dogs being fostered by students this semester.
Before I covered information on the reasoning behind therapy dogs and their impacts, I wanted to take advantage of the resources that the University of Kentucky provides and the regulations they have. The University of Kentucky regulations document was extremely helpful and easily accessible. It provided definitions, the types of animals allowed, information on service dogs, and the registration and procedures process. The regulations document states, students' requests to have an animal accompany the student on campus are handled by the Disability Resource Center in consultation with faculty, residential life, and/or other university officials who may be involved in implementing the requested accommodation. Mental illness plays a large role in the reasoning behind therapy dogs. Greg Enriquez states that 95% of college counseling center directors surveyed said that the numbers of students with significant psychological problems is a growing concern in their center or on campus. 70% of directors believe that the numbers of students with severe psychological problems on their campus had increased in the past year. The rise in college students' mental health has continued to skyrocket over the past few years. A book titled Stress and Mental Health of College Students that was edited by Mary V. Lando stood out to me during my research. The claim that was being backed up was the hard adjustment that college students are faced with, such as anxiety, health problems, constant worry, exam pressure, homesickness, balancing social life and school, and the sudden change of scenery and way of life. Therapy dogs work with professionals and their clients, providing comfort, support, and helping engaged people. Mental benefits that therapy dogs provide are decreased anxiety, decreased behavioral problems, increased sense of comfort and safety, reduced loneliness, enhanced self-esteem and confidence, and increased social interactive behaviors. Two popular therapy dog organizations are Wildcat Service Dogs and Four Paws for Ability. On the Wildcat Service Dogs website, it states, Wildcat Service Dogs is a student-run organization at the University of Kentucky. Our mission is to raise, train, and educate the public about service dogs. Students in our program are selected to raise service dogs in training for the first 10 to 12 months of their lives. These students, puppy raisers, are responsible for the socialization, training, partial financing, and full-time housing of the dog. Four Paws for Ability's website states the following. This organization enriches the life of children with disabilities by training and placing quality, task-trained service dogs. This provides increased independence for the children and assistance to their families. And Four Paws also works with the veterans from recent conflicts who have lost the use of their limbs or their hearing while in active combat. I decided to interview someone who was involved in this program to explain the organization and get firsthand information about her own experience.
The organization that I'm involved with is Four Paws for Ability, and it's a service dog program where basically college kids can foster a dog for like 10 months, and then after we foster them, they go off to people to live with that have like health conditions or like are kids with autism and stuff like that. So for training, I had to fill out an application and submit it to 4Paws for Ability, and it's actually based out of like Dayton, Ohio. So I had to drive there and sit through like a 3-hour training session, and then now I'm a sitter. So whenever the fosters like have work or class that they can't take the dog to, then I can just babysit the dog for them. Therapy dogs are a really big help to have on campus, and the students love coming up to me when I'm walking into class and just stopping to pet the dogs and just taking their mind off their schoolwork.
In conclusion, therapy dogs play a huge role on college campuses and impact those they come in contact with every day. Take time out of your busy schedule to stop and pet a therapy dog and take your mind off any stress or negative thoughts being thrown your way.